Alright, let's try this stream again. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, let's see. Alright, audio seems to be good. Going to grab this link and start posting a little bit so people can see this stream. I think it'll be helpful for people that are interested in this kind of thing. Welcome, welcome. All right, just gonna post this in a few places. Post successful. So yeah, I'm basically going to talk about how I go about doing rigging feedback. I guess live stream. Just posting on Patreon and streaming feedback. This will also be a small update for people who haven't seen much about my game so far, Chaos Cart. Just gonna be posting on some few more places and then I'll get started. I wish I had a timer. Just like this stream will start in 5 minutes while I post it on different places. Marketing. Okay, here we go. Game Dev Underground. Let's make sure that's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Here I got my first main racer guy, Malapoy, that I've been working on for a little bit, and we added some additional mesh to him recently, so I'm going to show that off too. We actually got some teeth now, some better teeth anyway. Let's see. Showcase. It's looking pretty clean, like that. eye movement's way better now. We actually have proper eyes, which is good. Before I had eyes that were not actually circular, and that was a problem. The eyes were kind of askew. Welcome, guys. So that was Seattle Andes, Diluvian. I don't know. This is kind of like marketing. Kidding. Anything that it's like an update or which I will actually have some gameplay stuff this time as well. So I think anything that shows what's going on is probably some kind of marketing. Oh, how's that? Is that better? Yeah, I have my new mic, so I know I'm a little bit quieter than usual. I'm trying to keep the gain down so it doesn't pick up all the different sounds. I think we're good. I think. Is that a little bit better, Kenny? I'm almost done shamelessly promoting my stream. Then I'll get started. I had my multi-screen setup, and for some reason, my Maya like quick saves always happen to be in my first screen, so I have to like drag it all the way over to my third screen. It's kind of frustrating. Okay, almost good to go. 3 Unreal Slackers. We got a nice fix, it seems, here. That's looking a lot better. Before there was a few errors on. Okay, one more place I need to post this at. Game dev. All right, perfect. I think that'll be good. All right, so now I can start doing things. Okay, cool. So, about the same. Okay, let me up my gain a little bit more. Sorry about that. I kind of need to be like hugging the mic. I think this is a new mic. They're usually pretty expensive. I got a very fortunate deal on this new Neumann, but yeah, it was unfortunately a very, very cold mic, so it doesn't pick up most things. All right, I think that we're good to go. I'll try to project a little bit more than usual. Let's put it in front of my face. All right, cool. So I'll get started now that I've shamelessly plugged my stuff on a bunch of different Discords that I hope you'll people that are interested in this will get some things from it. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of things I posted were on game development discords. Some of them are art related, but this is going to be both game dev and art related stuff. If you are not a rigger, or if you are an art lead, so I'm currently an art lead, and also a founder of Baka Bros Entertainment. So this character is for Baka Bros. Malaboy, our first racer, and I noticed that he had quite a few errors while driving around and testing him around and everything, which is just fine. It happens all the time. And so like when I was testing for Smash Bros, for instance, right? Like when I was testing for them, there was tons of little bitty errors and from weight painting and rigging errors and everything for months. So basically, it's good to just test and to push the limits of your rig to kind of see where there are issues. That does not mean that like the rigger like was not able to get something done properly or something. It just means that it needs to be bug fixed like anything else, like any feature. So without further ado, I will show you some of what I do to find these errors and how to snip them and get them back to your rigger to give feedback to or for, right? So hopefully this will help you, Kenny. I know that you do some outsourcing too, and this is probably hopefully I thought you don't do. So I personally don't do a lot of rigging. I do very, very basic rigging, but as someone who wants a game to be done well, I need to make sure that things look good, right? And so the way to kind of do that is like basically be able to give proper feedback to the rigger so they understand like what needs to be fixed properly. And a lot of that's just getting screenshots, right? So this is kind of just what I do to give feedback and send it back to the rigger or animator even, but usually the rigger in this sense, but very similar for the animation pipeline on like how you find things. So so I guess real quick, I will show you the error that I'm finding, or the errors that I found. So I'm gonna go into my game. Oh, I need to bring down the bar actually. 1 second. So when I go into testing Malaboy, then off the bat, you can see there's a few things that are broken, right? So you can see probably on his back, his shirt is kind of clipping through his jacket. There's some clipping right around his waist range, and like his jacket strings kind of are poking out. They're not like resting, which can be a thing you can do in Unreal itself. Just a few errors. The actual like weapons looking pretty solid. There's not really any rig clippings from there. There are a few rig things for the chassis that I want to get fixed. This wheel clipping thing is it's a temporary bug that we have. But yeah, mostly I'm worried about Malaboy at the moment. That's what I'm trying to fix. And I noticed that when you grab high for like a upper attack, that there are errors that can occur, that clip through the head or they twist the arm. And right here also the neck is super skinny. Like you can see that little right there. Like it looks like there's something wrong with his neck. So yeah, there's a few errors here. Still working on your character. Yes, yeah, we still have him working on the character rig. This is basically me giving him the feedback that we'll need. So yeah, this is not from him. This is currently the old rig. So basically, it was heavily functional. Everything looks pretty solid. It's really just a few errors that were problematic, right? So, but yeah, so there's just a few things to consider. Right now, the tongue sticks through the neck. I noticed that, so that's definitely a problem. So in some cases, you might actually want to screenshot stuff from the game if possible, right? And I actually think the neck kind of comes out of the body right there. So, all right, so I'm gonna go from there now that I've kind of seen what's wrong, and I can really pinpoint certain issues. And let's see, I'm gonna post this here. I think you're right. I should pull this out of marketing. Let's see. There we go. Cool. All right. So now if I want to be able to test certain things, like so I know I want this to be the hat, and there were some problems I had initially where the like the hair was pulling to the hat, and that happens a lot of times when things are literally touching each other like that. So like when I'd pull this up, a few of the verts would pull up as well. And there were some eye issues, there were some twist issues. So I'm gonna go and retest this rig and see if it breaks in any other places like it was before. So any other issues that persist, we'll find them and try to get, I guess, like get them all in one place, right? Let's get them all in onto this like Photoshop file, and then I can write a I guess like all the bug, like what needs to be done. So basically for the Word file, I might do like right hip breaks or whatever, or right hip twists into the pants, and so there's like some kind of error over here. Then they might need to know where, and text can help. Like for instance, here's a little bit of an error right in here. You can, and there's actually, so one thing to note is that I do have wireframe on in Maya, and so a wireframe helps me kind of see any kind of error. So like right now, if I did this here, you may not be able to see that pant piece going through the jacket, but it does help me having the wireframe. So I can kind of see. But yeah, some things are not going to be a huge problem, or you're not going to be close enough, or for instance, like because a lot of my characters are sitting down, you're never actually going to see that part of their body or whatever. Or they're never going to like do some kind of animation that would force them to make it a maneuver. Like for instance, like if I brought down this clavicle, like way down, you can see that this stays. However, that never will happen because that like looked like a broken clavicle, and so obviously that's not going to be a feedback thing. However, it is a it is a bug that the string is not going down with the clavicle. So like, but yeah, basically things that are too extreme, there's no need, like that's clipping, but like that's never going to happen, right? So all right. So the hat is looking solid, and I can do a nice twisty so he can have a front hat if he wants to, which is kind of fun. So basically this gives freedom for the animators. These are controls. And if you don't see your controls and you bought a rig from a rigger and you don't see these controls, then one thing to note is to go into your show and click on the NURBS curves. See if I turn it off, then I don't like, oh, where'd the rig go? I don't like, it's not done, but it is. So no, don't fret. Just click on the NURBS curves, and you'll be able to see all the rig. All right, and then make sure that you should have like a full functionality list when you are asking for it to be done. If you just say rig my character, well, does it have facial animations? Will it have any kind of movements? Are any of the props going to be floating or following a certain joint? Those are all necessary things, right, to note for a rig. So like if you're just like, okay, I just want this biped character and that's all it is, then that's okay too, but you basically gotta know what needs to be in place. Okay, so this one moves the entire upper torso zone, so it's kind of like it helps follow, but that's only for things like, say if he gets hit, then he might have some kind of like pull to the side kind of thing, but it'd be subtle. It'd be kind of like a twist pull, like a hit. But one thing to test is like the sub extremes, right? So like what is almost extreme enough where that will be the pinnacle of an attack, or like they'll go about this far, or they'll react this much, or something like that. And so if this hand needs to extend, right, how far does it extend, and will that break my rig or make it look bad? Hey Kevin, I'm just showing some rigging stuff, or at least how to give feedback for rigging. This is actually a functionality that I was wanting. which I'm super stoked about. So say if like a character is going to punch, right? They're going to punch right or left. Then I think it'd be really fun to have some kind of build up or like that rubber hosing where the strength is being like forced from the shoulder to the fist. And so I actually have a scalability rig here where it like can blow up certain zones, right? So like as you're doing that punch, and then it all flows into that fist. And so actually my fist thing is here. So that's my right hand big. So bam, see like this, I can have that like that Wario punch from Smash Bros. Right? That's really satisfying when you see that snap. These are also some pretty important things to think about. Is just so what functionality do you need to have? Stress testing it, right? And then just basic paint weight errors, right? So that's a huge one. So yeah, weight paint errors is something that I am mostly concerned about here because I think I have all the functionality that I'm looking for. Like for instance, this allows me to look in different directions, right? I have my blinking ability, but I did notice that there is an error in my blinking. So right now, because I have this controller selected, I see I have my blink left, blink right. However, the error that I have is when I scroll blink left, it also pulls on my right side. So it's doing right here, but it's also pulling that right side. And if I pull blink right, it only is dropping the upper lid, and so that's not what I want. Right, I want them to be able to like blink individually and fully, right? So so that could be an error. So I want to go ahead and start posting these as errors. So I'm going to pull up my snipping tool from my starter menu, and let's go ahead and snip some of these errors. So first I'm going to pull my left blink, get a nice view of it. Right, and then I'm going to go ahead and snapshot it. And just gonna get what's applicable, right? You don't need to grab the whole screen. So with this, I have my tablet, so I can free draw, right? So my tablet, and then so this side's good, but this side goes up. I just call this eyes, right? And then so I wanted to get rid of these paint weights. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and copy this and paste them into my Photoshop thing. So paste. Then I'm just gonna scale this appropriately. So let's say, so Control T. And that should be good for right here. All right, I'm gonna reset my new, and then just look for other errors. And so let's do the right blink, and let's go ahead and get that in. So just was applicable. Copy, paste. Oops, I need to draw, right? So I need to draw what the errors are. So right now, this is good, but this needs to go up, right? And then that's the main error. So I R. So IR for I right. And then copy and then paste. Oops, I don't want to do that. Paste. All right, Control T to translate. Or yeah, let's go ahead and make that bigger. All right, what other errors can we find? So this one is supposed to be able to like rotate. So like when you're driving, basically like the air is supposed to be blowing on the hair, for instance, and it looks pretty good for the most part. Like especially this one, right? This one's gonna be nice and handy. But like what I noticed is like the fall off looks a bit sharp. Like see, it's doing fine pulling from this, like it should be feeling good. However, I don't like that it falls off really hard in the middle. Like so right here, you can see that it like hard creases rather than like blends and like it's not smooth basically. And so I think that will be an error here. So I'm going to go ahead, and this could be it's relative error, right? It's something that it's not necessarily an error, but also I think it just could look better. And so I'm going to just put smooth. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this. All right, cool. Let's get on to the next one. All right, I don't think there's any errors with the hat. I think the hat's been solid. Let's try the eyebrows. Let's see. I'm basically just working from up. So actually, there's a problem right there. As you can see, when I move this vert is also moving on the eye, or the eye like lid range. So and usually when that happens, it might also be happening on the opposite side. So make sure you check both sides. Yep, it's happening on the opposite side as well. So I'm going to get in there and then do a snapshot. Okay, and so I'm basically circling the area of problem, or the that issue, and then I'm putting an arrow like what happens when that happens. And so now you know that's a paint weight issue. Like basically the eyebrow is attached to a part of the skin, and I don't want it to be. And even though I won't have an extreme thing like that, it's still good to know, because if you do an extreme stress test, then like yes, it'll never happen, but you'll be able to see that, okay, there is a paint weight error where something is falling into something else, such as that, right? So let's move on. Okay, we talked about the clavicle. So I'm going to go ahead and post this clavicle area being an error. So let's go ahead and do this next screenshot. So here's the area of problem, and here's the clavicle going down, right? And so if we keep this all on one document or one page, then it looks really clean. So like I basically just show this and then have that list right here. So like I'm just gonna make a bullet point list, I think. So let's say bullet point list. This is gonna be errors, right? So I'm gonna just call this errors, or bugs. I should just call it bugs. Okay, and actually, I'm gonna bring this down to like maybe 14. Stock that back here, and then I need to have the bullet points. There we go. Talk this back. All right, cool. So bugs. So the first bug is left eye blink affects right eye lower lid. Okay, and the next one is the right eye blink. My eye key is sticky. Right eye blink only affects, oh, is it affects A? Effects, I don't know, probably. One of them's right. Okay. Let's see. Only affects right top lid. Okay, and then hair smoother weights fall off too harsh. How's the ability icon minimap? Pretty good so far. We need to re-add it because when we added some multiplayer functionality, we've had to just push it for. Well, you have to not use it at the moment, but I imagine once we can figure out how to use it for multiplayer, then we'll be using it again for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to do that too. So. All right, and then what was the next one? The next one's going to be the eyebrows. Both eyebrows pull part of the face mesh. Okay, and then you can see this lower. Yep, usually happens on both sides if it happens. Looks super crazy, but I mean, that's may not be an issue because it's, but yeah, it's next to the eye, so that will be seen if you see if I bring it up and down. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. So it's affecting these two verts right here. So basically, I'm just gonna extreme pull it, so it's gonna be very obvious which ones they are. So this is the stress testing I was talking about. So my areas of effect are this one and this one, and this is me pulling that way, right? So that'll be my next problem. Paste. This looks like an abomination for sure. Looks kind of creepy. Okay, so this was the eyebrows. Let's see. Both upper eyebrows pull part of the face mesh. Both lower. Oh, I need to do that later. That wasn't the next one. Next one was the clavicle. So the clavicle. I'm actually going to re-manage these so that it can be eyebrows section and then clavicle. So let's do both the eyebrows ones. So yeah, both lower eyebrows. Oops. Pull two verts face mesh. I actually wonder if it might be better to number these rather than just have them lined up like this. That might be good to do. So I could probably just add a number like this. really dorky 1 or like 1. I guess I could do it that way. 2, 3. Yeah, normally I don't do it that way, but I think this makes sense to do. This is not supposed to look pretty. This is supposed to just look functional. 5. That's not even showing. It's different. Does it turn into a different color or something? Oh, I think the layer is behind this layer. That's funny. Like a devil. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does. Has that look about him. Yeah, I think there's some kind of layer overlapping error happening. So let's see if I can make a 5. Why isn't it doing it? Man, that's awful. Okay. Let's make a proper 5. Okay, and then 6. There we go. I'll just draw them. That feels better. Okay, and then, so that means that with these, I can do numbers instead too. That way it'll match up. I feel like that's a little bit cleaner than what I've been doing. There we go. So now it's just numbers to match I guess the screenshots. All right, and so 6 is the clavicle area, so that's the string. I do not know how to spell clavicle. Holy cow. Clavicle. Joint. All right, so we've gone over blinking. So one of the things I needed to do with the eyes is figure out rotation. So rotation looks really solid. However, I did notice a little bit of tug on one of the verts, and so it's important to have like an eye for this kind of stuff. So yeah, there's actually 2 issues with this. You might have noticed that thing kind of popping out there. So as it looks down, there's a little error right there. So let's get that. And then also there's one vert. See, it's like this one right over here that moves slightly as I'm looking around. See, it's like wiggling, like that one right there. Yep. So now I can kind of see that, and then I'm going to use bones for the facial structure. So actually, Machiavelli was saying that like using blend shapes is actually more expensive than just having more bones. So I'm going to trust the professional on this one. So I guess blend shapes, and I know like Smash Bros, I'm pretty sure uses blend shapes because when you like it looks like a completely different mesh when it just like has an expression, but yeah, I'm gonna trust the pro on this one and go with no blend shapes for this for budget. Okay, let me. So yeah, these 2 errors. I actually think that's part of the hair mesh that's happening here. So this happens as he's looking down. Oh boy, we got a troll on this one. You report that. Pornography. There we go. Gone. Cool. Report user. That easy. All right, cool. So now we have the next one. Gotta hate trolls. 7. Oh, he's back. report that again. Yeah. All right. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Let's try to move on with that. Then all right. So 7, yeah, that is the when you're looking down. So eyes looking down. Affected. 1 on face and other looks like hair mesh. Yeah, I think it's the hair mesh that's coming through right here. I think it's probably part of the hair mesh that's kind of pulling through his face right there. So I'm pretty sure that's the issue. All right, let's see if there's any other problems. Are blend shapes okay for non-mobile like games? Like, how bad is the performance? I don't think it's really bad. I don't think blend shapes is going to be a big issue. I just think that I'm just gonna trust the guy who's been doing it for almost 2 decades on budget. So, and he's worked on multiplayer games as well, like significant mass multiplayer games. So I'm just gonna go with that. But yeah, I don't really know the full extent of budget like difference. Yeah, but I don't think it'd be a huge problem. So. All right, let's see. Apparently my bit rate's kind of rough. I'm not sure why. All right, so I think the hips are solid, but there was like, so like right here, I guess. So there's clipping right here, but I'm never going to rotate that heavily, so I'm not concerned about that. However, the upper body will rotate somewhat heavily. So I'm going to see if I can rotate this. And it should still be fine. So it looks like it looks good, but it looks like there's some kind of peaking right here, which sometimes can mean that it's pulling from some like with an arm or something. So it has some kind of other pull. However, this is already kind of out more than the rest, so maybe that's okay. So we need to kind of figure out if there is more pulling from something else. Looks like this vert is pushed in for some reason right here too. I'm not sure why. So it looks like there's some kind of weirdness happening with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that as a bug. It might be the modeling side, so I'm just going to put it as a bug for right now, because I think that, I don't know why I would have it peaked that hard right here. Actually, I need to get a not so big one for this. I don't need that much surface area for this. Paste. This would be 8. Bones are harder to animate, I think, versus blend shapes. Yes, that's true. It's much easier to just maneuver verts and call that a blend shape. So I mean, yeah, I think on the developer side, it is faster and easier to just do blend shapes. But I guess it just to call something, you gotta put a script every time you want to change the face or like change the mesh of the face. And so maybe that calling of the script for every single time you want to change the expression is maybe just what adds latency or makes it more heavy. You still have to call a script for every expression done normally too. So I'm I don't really know. I don't really know why that is. All right, and so 8 is 2 vertices. Heavily rigging error. And that's what I'm just going to clarify that I'm not really sure for this. So yeah, that's kind of just right in this zone. I'm not really sure what that is. So there's multiple. So that might be on purpose. I don't know. All right, cool. So let's see. And here is the knee twisters. So these are the what pulls the knee certain sides. Rotation, basically. You can't rotate, you just move it. That looks pretty clean. Okay. Oh yeah, actually, before I get too far down, I want to go ahead and do the other movement. So I think this jaw movement was one of the ones I needed to test, right? I'm not too worried about going up because I'm never going to use that, right? So it's going to be just down. Like, I don't care that it can go further up. The freedom is good for sure. So right now this jaw moves. I'm not worried about this clipping again because it's never going to happen. But like if he gets punched, it'd be kind of funny if like it rotated to kind of move like that. Oh, not fully necessary, but it would be funny. Right now it's good because like this is what some things you want. The tongue rotates. But it looks like it overdoes it a little bit, and kind of start sinking. But that's because there's actually a tongue rig right here that I can affect. So that's actually not a problem, just because there's a tongue rig separately. However, if you did not have a tongue rig, then that might need to be something. That's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. He's a good dude. But yeah, so if you don't have a tongue rig, make sure that your tongue does not dissolve into his throat like that. Like, right, I mean, that's too extreme, but like, you don't want that unless you have the ability to move the tongue. So let's see if there's any errors in these I guess controls. So this should be able to just move the happy to sad kind of look. Looks really solid to me. One thing that I want to do for functionality is have it to be where you can like really smile, really grin heavily, and right now you can't do that. So that's gonna be a functionality, not a bug, but a functionality, because this looks perfect if I only need a little bit of movement. But I actually want to add functionality to be like, hey, this needs to go like this far and like wider and stuff. So what it really is that I want this side controller to affect like a lot more verts, like this whole cheek almost. Because in the original concept art, I actually have it to where let's see if I can find it. Let's see. So the original concept art, he has like a huge grin on his face. I think it's just on here. Let's see, Malaboy. Assets, champions, Malaboy. Where's he at? References. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so yeah, on references, I did go a little bit more of like the Link route as far as like how he looks and stuff. But yeah, this was one of his OG concept arts. And one thing that I wanted was kind of like, and I don't want to look like a bully, so I made him a little bit different than his OG. But yeah, so I have, like, I want this huge grin to be able to be possible on his face. And so right now he can only open up a little bit, but I want to be able to have this like very expressive face. So, hey Mel, my cat. You silly toph. Big Jeepers. Okay. Nice talking to you, Kenny. Thanks for joining. All right. So, make sure that my stream is still solid. Okay, still going good. Okay. So, let's see here. All right, so I'm basically, again, that's going to be a functionality problem. So that's not going to be a bug. I do not want it to be considered a bug. So I'm going to add a functionality section. All right, and make it nice and big like the other one. So let's bolden it. This is 22. So let's say 22 here. There we go. And then it goes back to unbold and 14. And this is just for the rigger to be able to see what's happening here. So, all right. So functionality, and then we'll have like the number system again. So here. Yeah, Melboy actually is happy for once. At certain angles. All right, so I want him to have the big grin. So I'm going to like pull it wide. Make him look like the Joker for a second. So it looks like before it breaks, it goes about this far. Before it acts like it starts clipping heavily into other geometry. That's so creepy. But yeah, I'm able to see the big grin, right? So it really might be better if the lower lip affects a little bit more too. So I think I think I'll put this as a whole big zone. So I'm gonna have this snapshot, right? Let's do the face controls. And again, this is a functionality thing, not a bug thing, so I don't want them to think it's a problem that what has been done is a problem. So this, I'm gonna say control maybe that zone, that zone, that zone, that zone. So I think just all right, this should be better. Okay, I'm gonna make a new one. This will be my functionality sheet just for additional functionality. So paste. And we'll be going through some more bugs too, but this is just me wanting to add functionality. Let's put this on the 1. All right, let's go back to bugs. So, real quick. So 1 is going to be have all the mouth controllers a wider expression. For a wider expression, yeah. That sounds right. All right, so let's test out the tongue. Let's see if there's any tongue errors. So right now the jaw moves just fine. It's doing pretty solid. Mouth moves pretty good. I can actually scale this up and down as well. It's kind of fun. Let's see this tongue movement. So if I pull this tongue out, like you might have seen it on the thumbnail even. Pull this thumb out, or this tongue out, and I actually don't think I can scale it at all. But it does have these different controllers, right? This is some functionality that I was wanting, was the ability to like, so he won't just have his tongue out all the time, although I guess I could technically have it like Crash Bandicoot, where it's to the side and then like it's curling like that, right? Or like Crash has it. Some kind of thing like that, right? Like Crash Bandicoot has that, like when he's driving. Maybe when he's boosting he can do that, but the tongue out thing was supposed to be mostly like a taunt. So let's see. I wonder if I can. I think I'm going to have to report this guy. Remove. All right, cool. So let's see. Yeah, that's good. All right, cool. So yeah, like I could move this tongue that way, but it's mostly going to be a taunt. So like for instance, like wagging his tongue is going to have the functionality of like the curl, basically, like the wag, kind of like a like you will just like you're annoyed by the character that just hit you kind of thing. But I don't think there's any errors coming from this, right? This is like I pull it out all the way, and there's no, it's not like pulling the neck, any kind of neck verts. I don't see any other errors that could be a problem, right? I mean, I'm not going to pull it down ever, right? It'll always be just kind of in its zone. But the tongue seems fine, so I think the tongue's good to go. The jaws seems good to go as well. I like that I can kind of shift it over. I can rotate it up and down. It just has like nice, clean, free movement, right? And the mouth is good. I like being able to rotate these joints. This feels good. All right, cool. So let's keep on testing, and I think we're almost done here. So let's test out this right here. All right, so some problem areas that you might find would be like, for instance, like this area right here in the back. This might pull things in the back right here, some other verts. But this actually feels pretty good. It has nice fall offs. It's not harsh, right? Fall off is a huge problem sometimes. So like it's not like just chopping off at this vertice. It still has like some nice cushion. So when this maneuvers, yeah, it feels good. So I think there might be some kind of vertice error, and I think it's probably going to be the hair. So let's see it. Yep. So right there is catching onto this vertice. So that means that the weight paint has some kind of influence from the hair to that vertice on the jacket. Okay, cool. It's good to know. So that'll be our next bug. Okay, that's another bug right here. I just noticed. Is it clips? No, that's not bad enough for me to see. Like when it was pulled this way, you can see that, but it's never going to be that extreme. So it's probably just going to do this, then back of the hair. So I'm not going to get me worried about that. Yeah, I think that'll be fine for right now. Okay, so yeah, this will be the error will just be this vert, or I think it's a couple different verts. It's like 3 verts here. So it's going to be these. All right, I'll clip that. So when I rotate this, it maneuvers that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. Paste. Just maneuver it over here. Oh, that's not the right one. It's that one. Okay, let's edit the transform. Okay, good. This will be my 9. My rigging error list. So when the hood moves, and let's make sure it's happening on both sides real quick. Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, there it is. Is it happening on the inside at all? Nope, it's just those 3. Hood moves. I guess when the hair moves. The hair moves on both sides. There are C's that move with it. All right, I think that's all for the hair in the back in that area. So let's check the neck out. The neck could the neck could have errors from the shirt or the jacket. So right now, when Malboy pulls forward, he gets a super skinny neck, and then he gets this kind of like tongue error thing. It's happening a lot less now, but I still don't fully like it. So yeah, there's those errors really showing up right here in the movement. So yeah, there's a whole like line of errors happening right here on in the hood. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, I can see that being a problem. So when neck rotates, there's a whole lot of verts that maneuver in that hood. Let's see if it happens in the I'll post this real quick. Paste, maneuver, transform. Let's bring that larger. Okay. Are there any issues that happen in the front, or is it just the back? It's like it's just the back. So 10 is going to be when head rotates or moves. Move. Okay, and then that one issue, so like he has the mallet behind his head, right? So that's another error that I noticed was like the tongue kind of sticks out through his neck, and he's constantly kind of pulled forward like this for that animation. So when this happens, there's this neck tongue part that's constantly happening. Copy. And I could copy and paste it all within this one thing, but I don't think that. I think this feels a little bit better and cleaner just doing it like this. Oop, I forgot to mark the problem area. Big tongue sticking out of the neck. There we go. Let's go ahead and delete that and paste. Okay, this is 11. 11 is tongue clips through the neck when is head forward to put mallet over shoulder. So if you didn't see from earlier, that's something that happens in build, right? So if I'm playing, then the neck, the tongue actually sticks through the neck at all times when he's like leaning forward. See that little red thing on his neck? That's his tongue. So that tongue goes from the middle of the neck to the outside, which it allows enough vertices for it to stick out, but that means that needs to be more solidified and not for that to happen. So right now the neck, see how he kind of very, very lean forward. And yeah, so it's broken right there for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and nope. All right, let's do a little bit more testing. So let's check the rotation again. I think the rotation was pretty solid. Yeah, I think the rotation's pretty solid. Okay. Let's see about the hip rotation. Okay, hip rotation has a few issues. Looks like it cuts off harshly right here for some reason near the crotch. However, he will never rotate this crazily, I guess. Like, right, he won't ever have to bend like that because he's in a cart, right? So it's never really gonna have that problem. He'll likely just have the pelvis forward like that when he's sitting down, right? And he'll be in kind of like this sitting down pose like this, with his hips probably rotated like that, so that it kind of matches better, and there's not a whole lot of clipping errors right here. And those kind of issues are just fine. Like this is looking good. And that's not broken just because like it's the knee follow that's keeping it that way. So there we go. Let's knee follow, keep it that way. There we go. So yeah, that looks totally fine. So in these errors right here, I'm not even gonna like trip about like these like calf errors, simply because you're never gonna see them, right? They're always gonna be hidden. You see the character like this. The only time you see Malapoi outside his cart is when he is trying to be picked, and he's gonna like standing outside of his cart, and then like when he goes into his cart, he'll basically like be standing up and like jumping into his cart, and so you'll never see the back of his like calves clipping through that, and that's just not gonna be a problem. Okay, so I'm not going to report that. Check these feet out real quick. Okay, that normally would be a problem if I was going to do a normal like walk cycle kind of thing. Then I would be concerned about this. So right now I have the clothing capped off the way I modeled it. But again, like you'll never see that, but I will still report this just because I don't want that to happen, regardless. So just in case you have some kind of thing like that, I don't know. I just don't want this to stretch like that. So maybe if they, so basically what they have to do is like on this knee area, it'll have to be very, very like hard right here, so it won't stretch that much. That way that this doesn't come out of the cap, right? So I will go ahead and report this as a bug. So I'm going to go ahead and snapshot this. Or I'll just do it from the bottom. Okay, and then paste. Okay, over to this one, and then transform, Control T. Okay, in this one, oh, enter. This one's going to be 12. 12. So this is going to be like when legs move forward, the leg comes out of the shorts. Small prio. Just because, like, even though that's happening and that's annoying, like, again, you'll never see that because it's going to be constant like this, right? Again, but for you, it's very likely that most people are not going to be doing a kart racer game, and so for you who may want to have like a walk cycle, that'd be a huge issue seeing that all the time, especially if you're from behind. You'd see this hole all the time, and that would be a big problem. So one of the things to think about is on your rig is what kind of functionality do you actually need, right? Like if you don't actually need a lot of functionality, say a character is just like behind a desk and they're just like talking to you, that character doesn't need a full rig. They just need like an upper rig, unless of course you're using the same rig for every character. All right, so we're almost done here. The knee's great, the feet are great, the IK is feeling really good. That clipping problem is not too big of a deal. And I want to say that because, let's see, let me rotate this knee and bring this out some. So that crunching may be a problem. Let's see. It's probably be sitting like this. So this will be constantly there. So I'm wondering if there's a way that we can avoid this crunching. Can I see that in game? Let's see this in game. All right, there's no crunching here, and I think I know why. Okay, so yeah, there's no crunching here because the hips are forward. So because, yeah, the hips are launched forward, it's not a problem. So what's happening here is that, yeah, this box is pulled forward, which releases that crunch. And so that's also a thing to consider is that, oh, why is this happening? Check the game. If your game's it's not happening, it's probably because there's some other element happening, and so that's all it needs to happen. So naturally, a lot of people don't sit straight up, right? They're kind of relaxed a bit in a relaxed position, and that's usually will like your like your hips will be rotated in a way where you're kind of like lounging at like a C or something like that, and so that's kind of what's happening with this. The sit bones are kind of pulled back, and you're kind of lounging, at least in the bottom half. Maybe even the top half is lounging it a little bit instead of just like so proper and lounge back. So, but yeah, this makes it to where there's not any crunch. So that would only be a problem if like, for instance, with your biped model, if you are doing a walk cycle, then that might be an issue for you where you don't want any crunch to happen. In which case, what you should do is either always have the hips move with the so like, oh, this goes up, then this needs to maneuver too, or like this goes up and this needs to maneuver some way where it reduces any kind of like geometry crunching like that, right? So so yeah, that's one thing to consider. So for your character, your game, with a walking cycle, you may want to report something like that. I think there's like a vert sticking out the butt a little bit. I thought I saw one anyway. Maybe I was wrong. Okay, it looks like right here, but that's not gonna happen for the game. So, all right, cool. Let's see what else. What else is there to do? What else is there to test? This is like a little funny stretching. Oh boy, it can stretch pretty high. All right, one cool thing that I wanted, one functionality thing that I wanted was expanding hands. I think I may have showed you that already. I wanted expanding hands, so I can actually enlarge my hands like this, which looks awesome because that's what it has a nice like punch, right? That like Wario Smash Bros punch. I really like that functionality. So that looks pretty good. Let's check out the fingers. Fingers are usually, well, actually, first let's check out the arms. So the last little bit of things to do is just the arms here. So the arms, usually a big problem area is the armpits and the body, the side body. So what I do for flexing this or to stretch this, so I stress test by pulling it all the way up, and if there's any vertices that are like pulling out a little bit, that's how you can tell there's an issue. So right now it's not happening at all. There's no issues with that. Right, I can windmill. I can pull from here. It looks like when I pull forward like this, and I'll need to pull forward like that, there is a little bit of an error right here. So these two, yeah, so yeah, this right here and this right here, and let's see what it looks like when I actually move this clavicle. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do the lasso. That's annoying. I don't want to do lasso. So yeah, I'd probably move the clavicle and then rotate this forward. So yeah, there's still that error happening. And what that is right now is the shirt is clipping through. See that little extra line? That's the shirt clipping through the jacket, which is my problem because I shouldn't have built a full shirt under this jacket. So that is a constant error. It looks like, which is kind of annoying. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to report this. It's not a huge deal, but I still want to have it in here. So go ahead and paste that. This is another low prio one because it's just so it doesn't happen too often. Or when he's pulled forward, if he raises his arms and or is crouched forward like this, I don't want that just to be exposed all the time because like the shirt's white, and his jacket's green, so it's very obvious. So it can be a problem. So this is 13? Yeah, 13. 13. Shirt goes through the of jacket when clavicle shoulders move forwards. All right, we'll have enough for like one more box error on here, or I need to shrink everything down if there's more errors. This only happens like this happens enough where I want it to be known that it's a problematic. All right, almost done, y'all. Let's see. Yeah, I have this cool ability to like stretch, which that was really fun. The way it can stretch to different joints, so you can feel like the power flowing through an arm, for instance, on a punch. Like it flows, bam, and then that shrinks for a second, and then bam, bam, like that, like that, like the power rush you can get through an arm. I think that'll be a lot of fun. All right, so this is another one, a big one to test. Make sure that so when we move this arm right here from the side, nothing moved on this side, which is great to know because that means that there's not going to be any errors on this full entire arm that will be connected to the body. So that's good to know. So we don't have to worry about the body anymore. We just focus on this arm. Now, the reason why you have these is for twistability. So like if I was raising my hand up high, or the arm up high, then you want to be able to have a small ability to twist. And so say like I don't want this geometry to break because I don't have very much topology here. And I'm gonna raise my clavicle a little bit like that. And say I want to like him to raise his arm up, then maybe this will rotate a little bit, like a little bit, and then this one will rotate a little bit. It just gives me a little bit more twist that feels a little cleaner, right? And then here's my elbow. Oops, this is my elbow. So there's like a little twist that allows for like really clean feel like that. Okay. Let's bring it back to normal. I'm just gonna have his arm out straight. And let's just test a few things. So this won't be doing a whole lot. Let's test this. This is gonna be a big concern issue. There's much clipping over here. Like so far, there's no clipping. There's no problems. This arm is a full arm under this armor piece, right? This lacrosse-looking armor stuff. So make sure that the arm isn't clipping through any of these straps or any of these armor pieces. Looks fine. It collapses right around here on the elbow, which is also fine. All right, let's see this wrist rotation. So the wrist affects this area. I'm not going to have it this high. See, it starts clipping up here, but I'm never going to have like a stop, like hard stop kind of animation. Or if he does, I don't think he will. I think that would be fine. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. The front, let's check the back. Clips a little bit in the back, but I don't think there'll be a whole lot of rotation happening. Check one more time. This is super minor. There's not really anything we can do about that because he's such like bulky hands, and like it's just gonna happen. So that's something I won't report. The only concern that I have right here is that there's something that is moving right here in the forearm as I'm moving this. Something is being affected. It may not be a big problem because it's more like it's like flexing with it. If it was like pulling, let's see. Like say if I was like moving this finger and then like something was pulling on the forearm, that would be a problem. Speaking of that, or the fingers, when I grab onto this one finger chain, it's really cool that the rigger that I have has these different options. So in this way, I can splay my fingers. So he has like a quick splay, like the Long and Prosper type stuff, right? Okay. Just going to keep on reporting you. Remove. Cool. All right. All right, yeah, so it's looking pretty solid, right? It's pulling the right kind of stuff. It's like it needs to pull this vert a little bit more. So as this finger curls, I want this vert to also be kind of moving with it a little bit more. So I'm gonna make that a bug. But it is pretty subtle. But yeah, I have this little like curl like this little like slider curl. Super cool. I don't think I want to wag this high like a sonic wag. But yeah. Yeah, I think I'm having trouble. I think that this is going to be an issue where like the index, I think it is affecting a lot of the middle. Like right in this area. Like it's probably okay. I don't think it's too big of a problem. It's his thumb curl. The thumb chain's a bit strange. But that'll be fine. I think like, a lot of it can be done manually, like here. Yeah. I already have both these as something. So I think this one, yeah, this will fix both issues. So I think I'll just have this last picture. So this And then, so as this rotates down, yeah, perfect. That's the last slot I had as well, so I will do paste. Perfect. Close the door. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. The mouse. Okay, so yeah, this is the last one. So yeah, it's both the movement of the armor piece that's kind of flowing with this, and actually that feels kind of good. So I'm not too stressed out about that. But then yeah, like right here, this one vert's not moving with it with this pinky, so I want that to happen a little bit more. So I'm gonna have that as my last one. So this would be 14. Pinky. Is it pinky? I'm going to look that up real quick. That's going to bother me. Pinky finger, yep. Pinky finger. Pinky finger. Loses some. Let's see. 1 vert above pinky finger doesn't follow well. Also, the wrist, the armor warps with the hand rotation. This not a huge deal. All right, cool. So because so it's not exactly the same, right? This arm has the armor piece and this arm does not have the armor piece. So you gotta check this arm too, but this will be really brief. So you can see that it does not pull any vert, so it won't affect the body. Let's check the chop. There's a little bit of chop happening here, but that's okay. I'm not too worried. And most of the time when he's in this motion anyway. Oops. Yeah, most of the time when he's going to be like using that, like I need to bring on IK. Left arm IK switch. Let's do left arm IK switch 1. All right. So let's test that. Oh, so that's one other thing to think about is make sure if you're moving an arm and it's not maneuvering the way you want it to, you turn on your IK, and usually that's 1. So like for instance, for not 2, 1. So now if I can move this all by using this one wrist movement like that. See? Now the whole arm maneuvers with this wrist. And it's super convenient. I can stretch it, feels really cool. So move this bit to 0. And then this one, I'll check this one out. So yeah, most of the time it's going to be like forward, right? Like this. Holding onto the steering wheel, probably something like that. So I'm not too concerned. Now this clipping right here, it'll probably be like this. So I don't think that'd be too much of an issue. And that's negligible. So I'm not too worried. Okay, let's undo all that. Make this 0, make this 0. And then just test the chop. So chop's good for the most part. Yeah, I think so. And then is the maneuverability here good? Feels pretty good to me. Let's test the fingers. says display. So if they have any options here, just make sure you test them all. Make sure they're not broken. Display's looking good. Okay, pinky. Okay, middle. Good. Index. Good. Thumb. So it's a little bit curled off, like off kilter. It's like kind of going down rather than like in. But again, that's not an issue because I can just bring it in like this, and like this. So because there's these separate ones, if it was only these and not these separate joints, that'd be concerning because then I couldn't change any orientation. But it feels fine because I have these alternative manual ones, right? All right, and I think that's all of the different things. So if you wanted to add any kind of functionality differences, you can add it on the second one, right? But so far, as only literally just the face that I wanted extra functionality on was more expressive and more like wide. Yeah. So I think that was the only thing that I wanted to change was just so that he could have a wider mouth, like, and be more expressive that way. Everything else were bugs. So we checked literally every single bone or every single control anyway. And so far that was it. So we had a total of 14 bugs. Or 15 bugs because this is 2 of them. So let's say this is 14. Okay, and then we wrote down exactly what we want fixed here, or exactly what the issue is here. And then we have a functionality, we just have 1. If you wanted to have any kind of additional functionality, then yeah, like maybe, if possible, have jacket strings dangle naturally, like jiggle chain. I don't know how to spell chain. Holy cow. Oh yeah, chain. Like jiggle chain. If not, can probably do it in engine. Let's see, is there any other kind of functionality I want? So I have the tongue functionality, I have eye functionality, I have eye rotation, I have blinking, I have hack and pop off, hack and rotate on the character, bam bam bam, and then bam bam bam. That's good. Lots of little bug errors here and there. If you want squash and stretch like I have, then that would need to be addressed, right? So I have the right one. So if like right now I have the squash and stretch kind of thing happening, I can't scale on IK. So yeah, just that should cover it. I think that's all the things I can think of for Mallet Boy. And I have the ability to do this. It's kind of funny, the like Ooga eyes kind of thing for like if you're really scared or something, which is functionality that I asked for actually. Cool, but I think that's all the things I need him to do. If he like shot missiles from his hands, then that's something that would definitely be told to the rigger, right? If he was Mega Man, then yeah, you would need to have specifics for that kind of deal. So, all right. Anyway, I think that'll all covers what I needed to do. So now I'm going to send my rigger the this Word document, right, with all the bugs and functionality changes, and yeah, I don't need to have a picture for this jacket strings. I think it's pretty obvious. And then because this is the only functionality thing, I can just blow this guy up right? And then make it nice and big and creepy, right? And then send this to him. So I'm gonna send him these 2 pictures, or this, yeah, there's 2 things with like this collision, or this I guess not collision, this abundance of screenshots with, make sure you're circling the errors. And also I a lot of times added the arrows of like, okay, that eye is good, that eye, when it goes, like, that eye goes down, I want to get rid of this, right? Sometimes I labeled them, sometimes I didn't. Like this is a circle because the tongue goes through the neck, right? So yeah, circle those errors, making things very obvious, very clean, right? Like, this is just a way to give feedback and to get a very clean rig. I hope you all do well with your characters, and you all have great freelancers or help with your characters. But I really hope this helps your journey and your characters as well. So, yep, give your rigger some love and show them some really good documentation on what you want them to fix, and they'll love you back. All right, this has been Daniel Peterson with Baka Bros Entertainment, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye, everybody.